Welcome back to Eddie Style Channel. My name is Eddie Winner, and today we will talk about one of the most interesting topics in the world, UFOs. Primarily, we will talk and discuss the upcoming UFO hearing on November 13th, 2024. The subject of this hearing is unidentified anomalous phenomena exposing the truth. Can you imagine? Can you imagine just this name 5-10 years ago? You put it right in the subject. I still can't believe that we have congressional hearings on that subject. This is great. Now let's talk about the witnesses and start with the most important one, in my opinion, Lou Elizondo. Lou Elizondo worked for the military for many, many years, and in 2009, he was recruited to work at a secret project called ATIP, that stands for Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, in the Pentagon. And he worked there until 2017, when he resigned in protest.
UAP are real. The government has already said it officially. What they are, where they're from, what the intentions are, that hasn't come out yet. But they have already said, yes, they're real. Whatever these are, there are things in our skies that are not our technology. We're pretty sure it's not foreign adversarial technology, but they're there. They're real.
He also wrote a very fabulous book called Imminent. He published it this summer, and I read it in its entirety. It really walks through his life, why he chose to work at ATIP, and why he chose to go forward and try to make public what is perhaps the deepest secret that is kept in human history. He deserves every credit for pushing this subject, going out into the public and saying that, yes, we have in our possession UFOs and also alien bodies. Take into account that what he stated publicly was cleared by the Department of Defense. There is a lot of information under the surface that we are not yet privy to, and that hopefully will be uncovered in this public hearing or maybe very soon. Next, let's talk about Dr. Team Gallaudet. Dr. Team Gallaudet is an oceanographer. He worked for the U.S. Navy for 32 years. That's a lot of time. He held top positions, and he's actually the former oceanographer of the Navy and also deputy administrator of the NOAA. He's currently the CEO of Ocean STL Consulting.
Let's not disclose the classified information technology-wise that we're learning about UAP. I'm okay with that. We don't want that to go to the American public or our adversaries. But the American public has a right to know the new nature of reality we know, and that the Defense Department and the intelligence community has realized and has evidence of. That's not fair to the American public or the global citizenry at large. So I think this is what has to come out.
Next on the list is Mr. Mike Gold. Now, I didn't know much about him before this hearing, but he has a very interesting past. For example, he worked for NASA for many, many years, and he served as their space policy and partnership associate, and he also worked for the Bigelow Aerospace Corporation. For those of you who don't know, Bigelow Aerospace was founded by Robert Bigelow, who is a billionaire who made his fortune from real estate, and he's really, really into the UFO and the paranormal phenomena. I have mixed feelings about Robert Bigelow just because a person that I admire, James Fox, the TV documentary producer and filmmaker, he said once that he met with Robert Bigelow and that Robert Bigelow alluded to the fact that he knows much more than what he's telling the public about.
Bigelow said to me, "They're walking among us." I said, "What do you mean they're walking among us?" He said, they're walking among us. They live right here, kind of thing. And so he says, "James, do you understand the implications of disclosure? We've done studies We've done extensive studies on the impacts of this story would have on the general population globally. And I said,
Interesting.
okay, well, like what kind of studies? He goes, well, you take Iran, Contra, and you take all these other like super big scandals, and you multiply those, every one of them that's ever happened in the history of mankind, in modern history, and then you multiply that by 1 million, and that's the impact, according to our studies, that this reality would have on the general public.
When James Fox said that, I thought to myself, So Robert Bigelow always appeared to me before that as this private entity who strives to know the truth. But now I'm like, do you know the truth and you're hiding it from us? I don't know. I think he knows much more, but again, can't speculate too much. But Mike Gold worked for 13 years for the Bigelow Aerospace Corporation, which is good. It's good that he testifies here. He worked for NASA. He worked for private industry. Now let's talk about the fourth witness, Michael Shellenberger. He also raised a lot of eyebrows because he's a journalist. He never worked for the military or for a private aerospace company, but he is highly trusted by whistleblowers. My take is that some whistleblowers do not want to come forth with their name and their face. So they went to Shellenberger with all of their stories because the whistleblower's face is not public, right? So maybe he really opened up to Shellenberger, and maybe Shellenberger can actually disclose some really, really crazy stuff.
Congress needs to do more. We need to have those protections for whistleblowers. They need to pass this disclosure legislation. And anybody who, in my view, anybody that's like a debunker or a skeptic or whatever who says that we shouldn't pass legislation to disclose what the government knows, for me, that person is acting in bad faith.
So that's going to be the hearing. I'm super pumped about it. I keep telling everybody I know about it. Most people don't care. Most people say, what's in it for me? And I think, well, I don't know. It's just interesting. It's just very, very interesting. So I also have my own little thing that I would like to share with you, my own little idea of where this entire Disclosure Act will go in the next 4 years. So as we know, Trump will be the president. He will have on his team with him Elon Musk. He will have a top secret access. And he believes that as many documents, governmental documents, should be declassified. I think that somewhere in this 4 years, he will come across the UFO files, either by himself or somebody will probably say, hey, take a look at the top secret clearance UFO materials. Tell us what you think. Now, he publicly said multiple times that he obviously believes that aliens exist, but he has never seen any credible evidence of UFOs. And he has like 50,000 satellites and then never had to maneuver around a UFO, which is funny. So I'm very curious to know what will happen if he will come across top secret clearance materials. How would that affect his perspective on the subject? He might influence Trump to disclose some of the materials and to go and pursue full analysis regarding this topic. Problem now is that these subcommittees, they can't even investigate whether what the witnesses are saying is true or not, because the military is denying them access. They say that they don't have, so to get access to it, you need more than top secret access. You need a special access, it's called. And part of the criteria is whether or not you are a temporary employee. Since these congressmen and women are temporary employees, there is less likelihood that they will get this access, which is absurd because Congress is, by the Constitution, authorized to oversee the military. But with Trump in power, he's the head of the executive. He's the head of the military. Who knows? Maybe they will actually be able to gain access to some of these facilities. Trump has already committed himself to declassify the Kennedy assassination files. Hey, if the Kennedy assassination files will become public, maybe the UFO files will become public next. Anyways, if we'll find out that we have alien technology and alien bodies, let's go. I think it's disclosure time. I truly do. I don't know if it's going to be full disclosure time. I don't know if we will know everything within 4 years. I don't know. This is my private hope. But all eyes now on the November 13th congressional hearing, unidentified anomalous phenomena exposing the truth. So thank you for tuning in for another video of Eddie Style. My name is Eddie Winner, and I will see you very soon. Take care.